Hello fellow reality seekers, today we are doing something super fun, which is trying out remote viewing. Now, if you don't know what remote viewing is, it is basically like a form of a psychic ability, but the only difference is that that one is real or taken more seriously just because it was documented by military and basically government institutions. It basically means you can look into something, for example, from distance while not being there. It's kind of like a clairvoyance, I would say. People in militaries used to do it to like look into certain things in an enemy. You would just like try to see into what they're up to, type of thing, you know. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. For those purposes, I'm gonna use a random image generator. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to like remote view into the image that is gonna appear. I'm gonna try to draw what I'm sensing, what I'm seeing, and then we're gonna see the results. You can also join me while watching this video. You can do your own remote viewing on it, and we're gonna see how we're gonna do. So how you do it is basically you focus kind of like on the next image that is gonna appear. Like I don't try to think of it as in like future reading. It's more like that image is already there in like the code and it's gonna appear. So it's like it's already there, you know. It's not like I'm predicting the future in that sense. That being said, after you put that intention in, you like focus and you know, you try to see kind of like what your mind is coming up with. I also imagine clicking the generate random pictures button, and then I imagine I'm kind of seeing the next picture that is gonna appear. Okay, so I have my pen ready, let's go. Alright guys, so that's what I came up with. Now let's see.
Bruh.
So I'm not gonna lie, I have approached this like at least 2 times right now. I will be trying some remote viewing. Today I wanted to try a remote viewing. Now I did try remote viewing in the past, like 4 years ago or something like that. But now that I tried it again, suddenly like I wasn't as good at it. So at some point I just gave up and literally went and trained myself for this video. But hey, good news, I got it back in like 3 days. So just as bad, you can get good at it in just 3 days if you really put your mind to it. It's really not so hard. I guess many people who'd kind of like start with that practice, especially if you don't have like much of experience with any of like intuitive psychic abilities and so on, it's gonna be hard for you to first of all trust yourself, which is pretty ironic because that's like the most of the issue that people are struggling with when it comes to stuff like that, which is like confidence, trust to yourself, you know. So it's important that you trust yourself. Like I had the best results when I just literally trust myself, you know. And to second of all is to like not expect stuff, you know, because that expectancy of result is what is actually like also like taking your focus away and distracting you from actually focusing on getting the sensors, you know. And don't try to be right, it really doesn't matter. The thing I learned with like psychic abilities and doing psychic work is that it literally doesn't matter. You don't have to be right all the time, you know, and it only destroys kind of your progress and development, you know. So it's like an ego thing, you know. You're trying to be right, you're trying to, you know, like, you know the drill, have all those thoughts of having to be right, you know, and the fear of not being right, most importantly. Okay guys, let's analyze this picture. So there's a lot of similarities, so let me just drag it in. The thing with remote viewing is that it will never give you like the whole picture. It will most likely just give you like glimpses, like little visions of like things you see. It can be colors, it can be textures, it can be shapes, you know, and so on and so on. And like not everything you get will obviously be there, because for example, a very interesting thing I heard is that sometimes you will not only see what's on a picture, for example, but you might also see like things that are in the background of it, or like things that were going on while the photo session was happening that might not be necessarily shown in the picture. Okay, so let's analyze it. So I've seen like wooden panels, you know, like here, you know, so here we can see it as this, you know, table, whatever it is on. Now the most of the similarity I see, and of course the brown, right, because it's brown, but the most of the similarity I see is here with this egg thingies, you know, and like that looks like exactly like this candle thing, you know, with this opening. Now another thing is also here, those like stacked up things, right, it's also like the same shape as this, you know, you could kind of say like it's those Zen rocks. There has been some red, and I think we can see it here, right? But yeah, that was a pretty simple picture. At the end, I will also show you guys like other results I had so far with remote viewing, but for now let's keep going to another one. You know, the more I like practice like psychic abilities, the more ironically I come to a conclusion that it works the more delusional you are. As in, you know, the more you let yourself like be free and be open to receiving things and just know that you can do it, the more it works, legit. It's like letting yourself feel a bit stupid, you know? It's like letting yourself feel the possibility that you might look a bit stupid, and being okay with that and being confident. Okay, so let's take it and let's analyze it. Okay, so let's start with that red spray paint I got at the beginning. And that we can not only see like here, like those all look kind of like spray paint. Like, I mean, wait, I haven't actually noticed it, but there is a literal graffiti like on the top. So that spray paint makes a lot of sense. And not only that, but there's a literal red spray paint here. Second of all, we have like this bulge, puffy stuffed something, you know, that looked like bulgy, you know, and I think like those urinals do look like bulged and puffy. Second of all, we have silver white, which is like, this is literally looking like silver white. Like those urinals, like they are totally silver white. The thing with remote viewing is like sometimes you almost have like a microvision on things, you know? Like it's like you're seeing like micro things on the certain photos or images that you might not even see until you like zoom into them. Now we have, I wrote cement tiles, gray, but although they are not cement, they're still like tiles on a wall, you know? I did some like spirals, and although there's no spirals, there is like, you know, those are like all round, you know? So, and have a lot of curves, so I feel like it makes sense. And I even wrote like old vintage, and I mean, those styles definitely do look really vintage and old, you know? Like, generally the whole image is very, very old. The silver white also applies to like this broken glass on the floor, I think it is. And we literally have silver doors here, what it looks like silver metal doors. There are also some openings, you know, spiral-like. So yeah, I feel like this one is pretty accurate. This is how remote viewing is working. And I hope you can get a glimpse of how it works and how you can do it yourself. Like, you will rarely ever get just like a whole image in your head. It's mostly like textures, colors, shapes, rarely maybe impressions, You know, it's like it's hard to sometimes navigate because you don't know. Like for example, when I got that cement tiles, you know, that was just like an image I had in my head, but I didn't know what about it is gonna be on the image. Like, will it be cement? Will it be tiles? Will it be the color gray? Or will it be the shape of the tiles? You know, so it always depends. And yeah, it's all about the details. Okay guys, so last days, as I said, I've been training, so I wanted to show you some of the results because obviously when I'm doing like the remote viewing like on the camera, it's a bit more pressure, so I don't get that accurate, but I've gotten some amazing results just the last days that I've been practicing, so I will show you right now like from the kind of like a start to like how good it's gotten. So on the fourth days, as you can see, it was I wouldn't say that accurate, but then it started getting better. Like, look at this. We have like scarecrow. It's not a scarecrow, but like the correlation is there. The correlation is there. We have white and brown, which is pretty obvious here. We have even desert, sand, you know, which is, you know, I assume this is like kind of has a desertish vibe. But here is the real banger. So we have gold, red, stairs, black, rusted chain or metal, black again, you know, which is like, I mean, come on, just come on, like rusted red metal, blacks. We have sunset on the sea. Well, it's not on the sea, but it's like visibly like sunset hours. Orange tones, like, I mean, come on, that's like autumn season. Something red with pattern, light red. Something red with pattern. I mean, I've gotten stairs, but I mean, you can kind of say this looks like stairs. Lots of faded red, some white. I mean, that's like one of the most accurate ones I've gotten just after like 2 days of practicing, 2-3 days, which is amazing. Now for the real banger, like the realest one, the best I've gotten the last 3 days is this one. We have rat, which is like, I've gotten literally like an image in my mind of like this, you know, and like, come on, like it's a dog but it looks like a rat. Hairy and turquoise mint green. Turquoise mint green. Look at this. Look at this. Turquoise and mint, you know, so it's pretty amazing. Like those colors I've gotten, so they were very, very accurate. Yellow and black, which is literally the whole, like half a background, and also chain, fence, metal-like thing. We had bee, chain, blue and red, like blue and red, and faded red and yellowish, like that's literally faded yellow. And we have also dark here. This whole thing is dark. That's pretty amazing. Like when I saw that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, like that is like exactly what I've seen, you know? You could also say that that palm I've seen here is kind of like the teeth. Or also we have like that star thingy in the background, that could also be that. But yeah, so that's basically it. That's like my practice for like 3-4 days, and I think it turned out pretty amazing.